First rod in the water, first line in the water. No matter what, 3 minutes? 3 minutes in. New PB for me. Well, welcome back, ladies and gents. Welcome to session number 3 up on the Northumberland coast. Out on a rock mark today. It's just gone 7:30 AM. We got down there nice and early. The sun's just starting to rise. I'm all set up. I'm out once again with Steve from Sparta Fishing. I feel like I've neglected rock marks in 2023. I think from memory, I've had one session, or a couple of sessions should I say, over on Anglesey. So I do feel like I've neglected rock marks in 2023, something that I'm keen to set right in 2024. There's some big swells rolling in, we have to be careful of them. I'll pan you around in a minute and show you what we're dealing with. We're set up quite high up the rock. What do you call these? Skiers? Skiers. Yeah, we're set quite high up on the skier. No idea what that means. So we're well away from the surf, we're pretty safe. The wind's coming over my right hand shoulder, it's a southwesterly, heading out to sea. So hopefully as the day goes on, the sea's going to continue to drop. The swell will continue to drop. Fishing it down to low water, like I say, it's just gone 7:30, low water's at about 20 past 10, so we've got about 3 hours left fishing down to low. We're probably going to fish it a couple hours back up. Cracking morning so far, like I say, the wind's just coming over the shoulder. It is gusting still, about 30-40 mile an hour, but we're just tucked out of the way. Headland's just protecting us. The sun's just coming up in front of us. Hopefully we're in for a real good day's fishing. Well, we've moved, folks. We were set up on the rocks probably half a mile or so that way, but in all honesty the swells were just too big, so I think I lost 3 sets of gear, Steve lost a couple of sets of gear. We just couldn't get it back up the skiers without getting smashed into the rocks and snagged up. So we've moved, we're onto a bit higher ground now. I think probably coming up on low water. Time did you say low water was? 10:30. So we've got an hour left till low water. I'll pan you around in a second and show you. So set up, similar tactics as before, very simple rigs. We've got a good ledge in front of us here, which means that we're up. Hopefully that means we can lift the weights, we can get them up and out of the snags, retrieve the gear, hopefully land us some fish. Well, Steve said to me when we were on the other mark, he says, I'm going to have to swallow some pride and suggest we move. But it's paid off. There we go. First cod, first one on the deck. Chuff with that. Only a little fellow, we'll get him put back. But yeah, your move paid off, mate. Spot on. Oh, there we are then. We are off the mark. So, just goes to show sometimes it's better to go with your gut and move. Sometimes it feels like you're in the wrong spot, and it's easy to let your stubbornness or your head rule and say no, sticking to the game plan, but sometimes it does pay off just to up sticks and move. So we've been here no more than, well, had the bait in the water no more than 10 minutes. It's paid off with that little coddling. Hopefully I've just put a slightly bigger bait out there. I've got carp and ragworm on there now, and hopefully we'll get into some bigger fish. That's a bite, that is a bite. Yeah, that's better. Oh, I think I've dropped it though. Ah, I've dropped it. Oh no, I haven't. No, still there. Still there. Now you've got to be careful how far down here you go, because Once it's clean ground, you've got these ledges to get this fish over. Trying to look for one break surface with it, because what I want to do there he is. Alright, bring him in on this surf. Bring him up onto here. That's a better fish. That's a better fish. That's a better one, isn't it? They're getting bigger. Getting bigger. It is. That octopus hook doing the business again, look, on the top. So good I can't get it out, look. Oh, there we go. Yeah. Sport rig with an awful twist. Yeah, cracking little fish. Let's put this camera up on here somewhere so we can see what we're doing. What, the fish? You want to hold me fish? No. There we have it, fish number 2. Lovely, chunky, thick little codling. Got a right little belly on it. Give me a run for me money, that one. Steve's into a good fish. Oh, good lad. Good lad. Oh, what a chunk. Oh, you got it? Oh, that's a cod. That's nice, that. Nice fish, mate, nice fish. Just very quickly talk you through the Sparta rig.
Sparta rig, unconventional, but still.
So, I'll talk you quickly through the Sparta rig that's doing all the damage today then. So, at the top you've got £100 swivel, 3-way swivel. The weight sits on a £40 length of amnesia, and then on there I've put a splashdown and a 5-ounce lead, and then the hook length is £70, and this comes through and it's got a slight awful twist to it. So Steve normally fishes just with one big hook on the bottom. I've gone and added a circle hook to the top of mine. Well, it's an octopus hook, this one. It's got a slightly offset gape, hopefully you'll just be able to see. I find that works every time, and Steve's actually swapped over and put a circle hook on the top of his, and that's what's had his 2 nice fish. On there at the minute I've got a slither of squid and 2 lugworm. I know what you're thinking, £40 for your weight, however the hook length is shorter than the weight length, so when it's all clipped up it's actually the £70 hook length that's taking the brunt of the force through the cast, and then when it releases, essentially this whole weight length becomes almost like a rotten bottom. So because I'm fishing with braid straight through, I've just run the scissor along this weak link just to make it a little bit weaker, and then if we do get snagged up on the weight, that should snap. That will leave you with your fish, your hook, your main line. Time for a bait change. Well, species number 3 of the trip. Nice size little rockling. A 3-bearded. See 2 little beards on top. If I get my head out of the way. Yeah, nice size little rockling. I tell you what, they're hardy things. I reckon you could chuck them from 1,000 feet and they'd still swim back. In again. Steve's into a good fish here.
Feels heavier than what it is, by the way.
It is heavier than what it is. Just gonna wait for it to wash up onto that ledge. There we go. That's another nice one. That.
Not bad.
Do you not scream Sparta when you catch them like that?
I'm Spartacus.
Well, we've had a cracking session. Finish wrestling with that first.
I see Sony's teeth against me.
He does know what he's doing, honest. Yeah, we've had a cracking session. I've had a couple of codling, that three-bearded rockling, but Steve's had a few cod as well, but by far the best fish of the day.
We'll swap sides so I'm a bit taller. Cheers.
Yeah, best fish of the day goes to Steve. If you want to check out that, find it over on his channel, Sparta Fishing.
Cheers.
He's been showing me the marks. You'll have seen him on the previous video, but yeah, he's put me on the fish again, and we've had another good session. I think we're going to get wrapped up here.
Aye.
We've got last casts out at the minute, last baits out. Well, I haven't. I have. He hasn't, because he's just got another fish, so he's wrapping up. I'm going to give it another 10 minutes or so and get wrapped up, and get off somewhere for high water later on. But yeah, cracking fish, mate. Well then, folks. Welcome back to the final session on the Northumberland coast. Well, final session for this trip at least, anyway. Out on a beach mark. So this is not the intended mark we wanted to fish at. We rocked up at a mark. I don't know the names of any of these marks, but you're going to go over. Yeah, I don't know the names of any of these marks, but we turned up to a rock mark earlier to fish over high water. The residual swells that maybe you can see in the background from the storms that we had earlier in the week, they're still probably a metre or 2 metre swells. They're smashing up on the rocks. There's another 2 hours left till high water, and we were going to get wet. Well, Steve got wet, didn't you? Off a swell, and like I say, there was 2 hours till high water. So, and I need to do something with this rod stand. Bear with me. Yeah, so we're all set up. As I was saying, residual swells pushed us off the mark that we wanted to fish. We were going to fish off a rocky ledge into some deep water. We've come probably about a mile down the road. We're on a beach mark now. What we called here? Steve? What we called here?
Lynemouth Beach.
Lynemouth Beach. Come on, Steve, get yourself in over here. So where were we going to fish? Tell them where we were going to fish.
We were going to fish Cresswell High Rocks, but they started smashing over with 2 hours to go left of the tide on its way in on the flood. So there was one wave came over, and then well, like, whoa, this is 2 hours early as well. So
yeah,
no thank you.
So we were going to meet up with Tommy Joe from Fishing and Country Life with Tommy Joe. He's decided to stick it out over there. We'll see how he gets on. He's going to back up the bank if he needs to. We'll see how he gets on. Hopefully, well, I don't know. I'm always torn. I don't know if I want him to catch a load of fish and have a good session, because that's always good to see.
I'd rather we did.
Yeah. So yeah. But first rod in the water, first line in the water. No matter what, 3 minutes. 3 minutes in, new PB for me. Look at that lot. Definitely a new PB. I mean, the roots on that, just, yeah. Rod rest went over while I was sorting the bait out, tidying the bait box out. Rod rest went over. We weren't sure if it was a bite, so I ran over, grabbed hold of it, all excited and everything. And after a good battle in the surf and the swell, yeah. So
nice long one.
Yeah, I do love a good long one.
Just sort of see it.
So hopefully the weed's not going to be too bad. You retrieved, haven't you? And you didn't have much on your line.
Mine was fine, but I think you chucked short though, didn't you, first?
Yeah, I did. I've lost. What have I lost now? 4 or 5 sets. Get rid of that. Don't need that. 4 or 5 sets while I've been over here, and my spin fisher, my 7500, is running low on braid. So I had a bit of a conservative cast the first chuck, just in case I ran out. And so far. And yeah, landed straight in the weed. You got a rock there, mate? You alright? Let me move you around so you're in on it. You've been to fetch a stone.
fetch a stone. So
I can't even. Oh, I can put it down. Let me. So yeah, conservative chuck on the first cast, but I've gone for a bit of a longer chuck this time, and it seems to be doing all right. So hopefully, there's plenty of weed on the beach. Hopefully, it's just going to stay in the surf, stay in the shallows, and we'll be all right. We'll be able to fish through it. But yeah, Lynemouth Beach,
Yeah.
decent cod spot.
It's renowned for chucking out big fish over the years. We're fishing at the Bog Hall end, if you know where this beach is. Bog Hall's further north. But I mean, you've got as much chance as anywhere in Northumberland of getting your elusive big fish. So conditions are, it's a dropping sea, so why not?
And we debated, didn't we, staying where we were earlier.
I think we made the right choice.
You reckon?
I do.
Good.
It's I don't know. I like a beach at night. I like a dying sea.
Yeah.
Loads of colour in the water. But
Yeah.
you just got to stick to your decision, haven't you?
Yeah, so here we are, we're set up. Sun's just going down behind us, and we've got probably an hour and a half now till high water.
Yeah.
But we can fish this all the way through, can't we?
Yeah, we'll fish it up and over.
So yeah, the time now is 3 o'clock, and high water's about 4:30.
Yeah.
Fish it into darkness, fish the tide back down, and well, essentially this is my last chuck at getting that big cod on this trip before I head home. So we'll see how the fishing's going. I am going away with Sarah and Jack tomorrow, so I can't
Not too late.
rock up too late. But yeah, we'll see. We'll see if it switches on.
What bait are you using?
At the minute, I've got squid and ragworm out there at the minute.
I've got
You're on
carp
carp?
on mine, yeah.
Yeah.
Mix
So
the baits up and then see what works, and then target that.
talking of baits, let me show you this. The joys of post-Christmas shopping. A bag, what we've got there, 2 kilo.
4 on
Four.
4 pound.
For 130 gram, that's not right. About a kilo of mussels.
Probably why it was cheap.
Bag of mussels there from Morrison's. Post-Christmas, 50p. Live mussels.
I thought they were a fiver.
No, they were 50p.
Were they?
Yeah, why did I say you should be stocking up on them?
5 written on it or something like that. I thought it was,
Price,
I thought
50p.
it was £5.
No,
'Cause I thought there must be gear around your end if you think that's cheap.
50p, there you go, look.
I thought you did.
50p, so yeah.
So how many did you buy, Alex?
Oh, just the one, mate. I've got no cool bag, have I? So yeah, we've got plenty of mussels to go out because we are running low on mussels. That's what mussel and lugworm was the preferred bait earlier. We've got plenty of lug. We've got some rag left, but to be honest, the rag's not done a great deal, so I'm not too worried about running out of that. You've got some monster squid, haven't you?
I've got some big squid that I get off the boats.
It's like rubber sheet. It's like the type of stuff you put down in horse boxes.
It is. It's really thick to use, which is good in rough seas. Hard to use though.
Yeah, so we've got mussel, we've got plenty of squid, we've got plenty of lugworm, and we've got plenty of carp wings as well. So we're going to chuck everything at it. Hopefully we can get some good fish in before I head home. Good, isn't it? Bright as fuck. Only problem is, by the time I finish standing in front of it talking, I then can't see anything for 20 minutes. Steve was just complimenting on my light setup, and from what I can see in the camera, I think you can see me. You can probably see a little bit too much of me. Stating the obvious, it's dark. So it's about, what, we're on about 4:30, about half hour after high water. Just coming up to 4:45. So half hour after high water. We've started following the tide down a little bit, so we're just about on the high water mark now. Hey, that's a good bite. Look at that. I have to start that more often. Oh. Oh, well, that can stay out there. What I was going to say is I have just rebaited, cast out a full cart wing. You just had a bite as well.
Yeah.
And hopefully, now that it's gone dark and the tide's on the turn, we'll start to see some action. Mate, I've never seen you so alert. You're like a crouching tiger. there's a guy fishing just up the beach to us. He's had a couple of flounders, look like either a small codlin or a coley. So I'm confident if we wanted to swap to smaller loop rigs and stuff, scratching rigs, confident we could get in amongst some fish. However, as you'll have seen from the previous video, when I first got up here and it was blowing a hoolie, I've already had that scratching session. We had some good sport with whiting and bits and pieces. This session is the last chance for that big cod. So I'm going big. This may turn into a video where I blank, but you'll have seen those before. But those are the risks you run. When you come to a beach like this, Ian?
I'm not sure, it might indeed, but it has been knocking a little bit.
What we got? Crab.
The crab was knocking and that was giving the weight.
So yeah.
How embarrassing, eh?
So yeah, this could be a very quiet session for me, but those are the gambles. As I said 2 minutes ago, I'll probably edit a load of it out, but that's the gamble you take when you want to target big fish. It puts a lot of the smaller fish off. I've just had a good bite. Hopefully now it's gone dark we'll get into some good fish. We'll start to see some fish come on the feed. So tackle wise today, on this trip I've been using the GBFS Pro Mark II from Any Fish Anywhere. I've coupled that for this session with my Penn Spinfisher 7500. It's got braid straight through. Now some of you may be wondering why I'm using just one rod, and typically I always use two. As I said a minute ago, I could use a second rod to be scratching around, getting in amongst coalies, whiting, smaller codling, flatties. Like I say, the guy up the road just had a couple of nice flounder earlier on. However, as is customary or seemingly tradition up in these parts, everybody only fishes with one rod, and it tends to be because when the cod come on the feed, they come on the feed hard, and if you've got two baits in the water you could end up with two good fish hooked up. Certainly the bites that we've got on other sessions while I've been up here, the bites when they hit, a 3 pound codling scraps up here like a 6 or 8 pound codling down in the Humber. So I can well imagine if I was to get into a 5 or 6 pound cod up here, it would be a good scrap. You wouldn't want two rods in the water, you wouldn't want two of those fish hooked up. So that's why I'm fishing with one rod. Why am I fishing with the GBFS Pro rather than my usual Furies? Purely for backbone. If you watch some of the other videos, some of the marks that we're fishing are rough ground. I've only lost about 6 sets of gear while I've been up here, which is pretty good considering the marks that we've fished. But you need that backbone, you need to be able to break a weight out, you need to be able to break, pull a lead loose, pull a fish loose, and potentially land a 6 or 7, 8 pound cod up a rock cliff. So for those reasons alone, I'm fishing with the GBFS Pros. Yeah, we're on. Just hit my GoPro, will you? Oh. Hey! I mean,
load of weed make us feel
yeah, but
feel heavier, but hey ho, get in.
I'll take that. I'm not sure, was it recording beforehand or not?
Not the bite, but just after.
Not sure about the bite, but I tell you what, that took off like a rocket, pulled the rod over, gave a really good bite. I think the weed came as I was reeling it in, but let me get him unhooked and I'll give you a good show. Oh. Right then, where are you guys looking? Let's see where we're at. Tip you up a little bit. There we go then. Cracking little codling. Like I say, took off like a rocket. Possibly a little bit small for the table, but I was just saying, once the bites come on, the fish are in. So let's get a bait back out there and see if we can't find a few more, eh? I'm not sure if this light's too bright. Just turn that down a little bit. See if that shows up a little bit better. But yeah, there we go. Cracking little codling. Now if you ignore the wind, I think that is hung up in a kelp bed. Because if you pull it, it comes loose and then starts swaying again. Reel down onto that. I'll show you just what I mean. So I think somewhere out there is a kelp bed. Now, having not fished here before, I can't be certain, but if anybody does know, please let me know, because it's fished pretty well. We're now 3 hours after high water, so possibly at low water you'd be able to see that, I think. Well, I think that confirms my suspicions. But still, I'd love to know if there is actually a sandbar out there, or a rock mark or something like that, because it'd be interesting to know for low water. Well, we were just about to call it last cast and stuck another cart wing bait out there, a bit closer in this time. Another lovely little codling, about £1.5, maybe pushing £2. So I think it's going to join his little brother, come home with me.
Do you want me in this one?
Yeah. Are you alright with that there? Do you want me to?
A little bit.
I can't really point it down any, because then it'll chop my head off. Do you want me to kneel?
No, that's fine.
Is that there?
Do you want to do your hair, Steve?
I was going to get the hair out.
What hair?
You look aged.
Do I? Let's have a look.
Everybody's thinking, who's that Welshman in the background?
That's going to be the thumbnail right
Separate.
there.
I've got to put the hair into the gaps.
Well, that's the end of the session, folks. So, and the end of my Northumberland trip. Cracking little session. Finished with a nice little brace of codling. So taking them home for the table. Should fit me and the missus. We had a cracking little. Well,
you did.
Good little session.
I thoroughly enjoyed it. Really good. And if I could choose, if it was me catching a fish net or you, of course it would be me. No,
well, yeah,
no,
obviously, always.
It would be Alex. Of course it would be. He's a guest here. Well, not guest, but you know what I mean. He's in sort of where I live. And if you can catch a fish, brilliant. I'm happy as if I've caught them myself.
Yeah, but yeah, so Steve's channel, Sporter Fishing, go over, check him out. He's up this way. If you like cod fishing like I do now, he's up here. This is his playground, so you're getting amongst them all the time.
I've had an 8-pounder so far this year, this season, shall I say. So I hope I can beat it.
Yeah, Sporter Fishing, go and check him out. And then, if you remember from earlier on, I mentioned that we'd left Tommy Joe from Fishing and Country Life with Tommy Joe on the mark that we were going to fish. We said it was too rough. We said the waves were going to come over the tops. Guess who's joined us? How have you got on, Tom?
How do you know you're in the screen? It's gone off?
Yeah, it's gone off.
Oh, right, okay, so that's still there.
That goes off, but yeah, there you are, look.
Sorry guys, as you can most probably tell from my channel, I am a bit of a dinosaur when it comes to all the technology. Anyway, I come to meet up with the two master anglers that have been at it for a few days, and I got down this morning. And there we go, yeah.
Yeah.
Nice fish, £6.
£6 on the nose, so.
On the mark, that was too dangerous, too wild, too rough.
You win some, you lose some, eh? That's fishing, but you had a couple more as well, didn't you?
I had a couple more. I lost 3. I had this one. Guy next to me had a nice fish, just shy of £9. There was a £4 caught on the mark. There was about 15 fish between sort of 8 anglers in the end.
Yeah.
So yeah, it was alright.
Yeah, good stuff.
Yeah, happy days.
Well done, mate, well done. So yes, Tommy's up here for a couple more days. So head over to his channel, check out some of the videos from there. I'm going to leave these lads fishing. You're up here for a few more days, aren't you?
A few more days, yeah.
So what's your PB at the minute, 7.2?
£7.2, which I'm not really interested in a bag of fish, I'm just interested in one fish, £8.
I reckon he's going to smash that while he's up here. So like I say, Steve from Sparta Fishing lives up here. Tommy Joe, Fishing and Country Life with Tommy Joe, he's up here for a few more days. I'm off back down to Derby. I don't know where my next session is going to be. Like I say, part of me has got the cod bug now, and I want one like that.
Let's put them next to each other for a minute. You can edit that bit out.
Yeah, if I hold that there, look.
And then if I hold that there, look.
So I want one of them. So yeah, you never know. Next time possibly was going to be Anglesey.
That sounds good.
Yeah, that's Tommy's stomping ground.
Get
but
you some big
maybe we'll stick another cod session in. Let me know in the comments, are you bored of cod yet? Or should we head over to Anglesey and get after some congers and some husks?
And I'd even say, I'm putting my foot out there, if you do 2 nights for me on Anglesey, I promise you a double figure fish.
Oh, you heard it here first.
Like both of us.
Both of you.
Oh, there you go. Right, well, that decides it then. It looks like we're going to Anglesey, doesn't it? So, thanks for watching. I hope you've enjoyed this little series. And until next time, wherever we end up, take care and tight lines.